Sports on Tap is brought to you by the Joe Wright Group with Dobie Real Estate, Jason Stiltner at Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment, Land & Sea Motorsports.
Buckle the fuck up.
It's time to play the game.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Time to play the game.
You can't let that shit happen.
You play to win the game.
If we take a fucking tight end, I quit.
Cannot win with him. Can't do it. I want winners.
Time to play the game.
Welcome to Sports on Tap Game Day. I am Chris Scott alongside Joe Waddell. Joe, how are we today?
Doing fantastic, man.
Yeah?
It's another day of football.
Yeah, it's Football Sunday. I know it's your favorite day of the week.
By far. By far.
I mean, hopefully we make some money today, and on the gambling aspect of this.
Yeah.
And, hopefully there's some good games.
We're all looking to make some money here.
Yeah, for sure.
And looking to win our fantasy matchups, maybe win some FanDuel or fantasy DFS daily fantasy money.
Absolutely.
Along with putting in some bets on these betting apps and sites.
That's what we're here for, to try to help you guys out with that, to win your fantasy matchups and hopefully win you some money. So
yeah, absolutely. And with that being said, I want to give out Danny Y's picks for the week.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row now, he is 3-0, and he is 11-4 on the year.
Dude knows his shit.
With a plus 24.2 units.
Yep.
This week his bets are take the Patriots plus 3.5 for 4 units.
Wow.
Take the Chiefs minus 6.5 for 3 units.
Okay.
And take the Lions minus 3.5 for, I believe, 1 unit.
Yeah, against the Bengals.
Against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Are getting plus 3.5 for, let me see here, for 1 unit.
Nice.
1 unit. So those are the picks for Danny Y this week. Again, 2 weeks in a row he's 3-0, and he's 11-4 on the year. So take it for what you wish or what you want, but he's been hitting at a rapid pace, and he's plus 24.2 units on the season.
Can't argue with those results.
You cannot at all. If you're so inclined to take,
if you want to throw
those
some
bets,
buckets, go for it.
yeah, throw something out there. You did have a bet that you were looking into before the show started, didn't you?
Yeah, I was. I don't remember what it was though, unfortunately.
Oh,
it was a FanDuel like a boost type thing. It was
gotcha.
I'd have to look. I'd have to log into my thing again to find out what it was. But
Gotcha, no problem. All
but
right,
it was a solid bet. If you go to FanDuel and they have the boost is like right on the homepage,
yeah.
and you might throw like $5-10 on it, whatever. It's good payout. It's going off pretty good odds. So, and it's one that could like legitimately happen. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. So, all right, let's without further ado, let's get into the matchups for the day.
for sure.
We're going to start off with that Detroit-Cincinnati matchup. Cincinnati's traveling to Detroit. Detroit is plus 3.5 at home.
Yeah.
66% of the money is on the Bengals minus that 3.5. Over-unders at 46.5, and about 68% of the money is on that over. With the money on the over, sometimes you can't take that into account because a lot of the public likes to put money on the over because they never want to root for an under game.
Yeah.
But with that being said, on the money line, the Bengals are getting 90% of the money on the money line.
Oh wow.
What do you see in this game, Chris, as far as betting goes? I know we went over Danny's picks, and he's got the Lions plus the 3.5 at home.
I like that, especially again with the results he's had. I'm going to stick with Dan on this one. I think it'll be a close game. Honestly, I don't think either of these teams are very good. Obviously, we've proven that the Lions aren't very good, but I don't think the Bengals are that good either.
I believe the Bengals are a little bit better than we all thought they were going to be. And looking at this game, I originally liked Cincinnati in this game.
Yeah.
But with Dan picking the Lions plus the 3.5.
Honestly, I want to take the Lions to win outright.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. I think I'm going to stay away from this one now.
Yeah.
Because I was on the Bengals side of this one.
Yeah.
And with Dan saying that, and now you backing it up and saying you're kind of on that bandwagon or on that side of it, I'm going to stay away from it, I guess.
Granted, I would not want to bet this game. Like,
I originally was going
like
to.
gun to my head, just give me death to bet this game. But I would definitely stay away from this game. But having to pick it, I'm going to take the Lions and win outright.
Wow. All right. Well, that's a ballsy pick right there.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Let's see if this pays off for him. That is a bold strategy, picking the Lions to win a game.
Yeah.
Well, and let's talk just for a second. It is the local team here. It's Detroit.
Yeah.
So if they don't win this game, what game do you see them winning in their future? Because I look at their schedule.
Just pull it up.
And I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Yeah.
I look at their schedule, and I don't necessarily see another win coming up anytime soon. So you've got the Bengals at home right now. Then you've got the Rams in L.A.
L.A.
L.A. Yeah. And that's a loss.
That's 100%. Stafford might throw for like 8,000 yards that game.
Yep. That's a loss. And then you've got the Eagles coming to Detroit. And I know the Eagles aren't a good team,
but they're better than the Lions.
But they're still much better than the Lions, especially with the offense they have. Their defense is not necessarily great, but that offense can outscore a team like the Lions. And then you see them going into their bye week. If they don't win this game coming up, they're 0-5 right now. You're looking at them being 0-8 going into the bye.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I'm just looking at it quickly. I think they can beat the Steelers. Because I'm sorry, that team's just fucking garbage too.
They're so bipolar.
They are, but I think they can beat the Steelers. I think they can beat the Falcons on the 26th of December.
Yeah, that's a possible. Yeah.
And other than that, it's like okay.
Other than that, I'm not seeing any because they've got to travel to Chicago. They already lost to Chicago.
And the
at home.
Thanksgiving game, they got a shot against the Bears.
In Chicago though, I don't know, man.
No, it's Thanksgiving. It's here.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. It's here. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So other than that,
Yep. Yeah. So they've got Chicago and Minnesota.
I see a max of 4 wins, max, which I'll be shocked if they get to 4.
I'll be completely shocked if they get to 4. Anyway, we should probably move on. That's sticking too much to one game here. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. I think this is probably their best chance that they've had to win, other than like the fact that they were in games and could have won them and lost them in total Lions fashion.
Oh, 100%.
But anyway, so looking at the fantasy side of this game, I love Joe Burrow in this game. Mm-hmm. I think he's a great play this week. I
like any quarterback in any game versus the Lions.
Very much so. Very much so. And Cousins didn't have a great game against them, even though he should have.
Right.
And by all intents and purposes, people were picking him to have a great game, and he did well up until that game. But I have Burrow ranked as my number 8 quarterback for the week this week.
Right.
He's had 2 touchdown passes in every single game this year so far. I would take Joe Burrow. I believe the prop bet is Joe Burrow 1.5 touchdowns or more. I would take that bet.
Oh, 100%. I would.
I would take that. And then looking at his receivers, I play Higgins. I play Chase. Tyler Boyd is even a dart throw in here as a guy who could pay off on that side of the ball. Samaje Perine is out for this game with COVID. Joe Mixon's a little bit banged up, but still, that makes him a better start because Perine actually did take some carries away from him and some receiving yards away from him last week. So I think you're mixing in all your Bengals in this game if you have them, and
absolutely.
I think you're happy about that.
I'm happy about that.
I'm happy about that. Go to the other side of the ball, Chris, and I'll let you lead this one off on the other side of the ball. Who do you see having any type of impact in this game on the other side of the ball as far as fantasy goes?
Swift, I think, is going to have a solid game, obviously. Hockenson, if they can get him going again, but I know he's questionable, but if he plays, I think he can do some things in this game. Other than that, there's really not much to choose from from the Lions side of the ball.
There isn't. I mean, they put Cephas on IR.
Yeah,
and you've got Jared Goff, who has not been looking well the last couple games. He hasn't looked too great.
Captain Baby Hands.
Yeah, he's got tiny hands. He's got Burger King hands.
Yes.
But you look at T.J. Hockenson. He started out the year on fire.
Yeah,
and just has not had anything else going for him in the last few games. I don't know whether it's the injury or the defenses are taking him out of the game, or a mixture of both.
But it's weird. It's just like they stopped going to him.
It does seem that way.
It's like
And I don't want to just look at it and go, well, they stopped going to him, because the defenses might be
they're playing
might
like
be
game-
keying on him.
game planning.
They might be covering him over the top with an extra guy. They might be doubling. You got to really pay attention to see those things.
Right.
And there has been times where I've seen he's been doubled, and they've had a safety over top that basically just shadows him. With that being said, I mean, I think you got to make a more concerted effort to get him the ball, though.
Oh, absolutely, you have to. I mean, that's your best receiver.
By far.
And
By far.
like I know teams are game planning for him and everything, but you gotta, as an offensive coordinator, you gotta work around that.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out ways to get your playmakers the ball.
You have to, and again, I know he's not 100%, but you still have. If he's on the field, you have to find a way to get him the ball.
100, yeah,
Even at less than 100%, he's your best receiver on that team. And with that said, though, Amon-Ra St. Brown has come on a little bit in the last couple games because they have lack of anything else.
They do.
And he's kind of a dart throw play for me today. I wouldn't mind throwing him into sprinkling him in on some DFS lineups,
Right.
or even if you have some injuries at receiver. And of course, we're starting bye weeks this week.
Yeah.
So if you have a receiver on bye and you really need somebody, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a decent dart throw here.
Yeah, I think it might get you some points for sure.
Yeah, and then I want to echo you on DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams is banged up.
Yep.
He wasn't practicing late in the week.
He's going to be a workhorse today, man.
Yeah,
I think he's
even-
going to have a lot of carries.
Very much so. He's gonna be way more involved than he was, because even if Jamal Williams does suit up and play,
Yep.
he didn't practice towards the end of the week, which means he's not going to be at 100%.
Nope.
Which means you're going to see a lot more of DeAndre Swift, and I believe there is the prop bet for him is over 43.5 rushing yards. I believe. I would hammer that.
That's easy money.
I would hammer that.
I think that's easy money right there.
I mean, I would bet that even if Jamal Williams was healthy and playing.
Yeah.
Because DeAndre Swift can break one for 25 yards here and there.
Yeah.
But with Jamal Williams banged up and maybe not even playing, and if he does play, he's injured.
Yeah.
I would hammer that over for DeAndre Swift on,
For sure.
on the rushing yard.
Absolutely.
All right, moving on. We are going to move on to, let's see, Kansas City traveling to Washington. Washington is plus 6.5 at home. 87% of the money is on Kansas City minus the 6.5.
Yep.
Over under is 54, and 61% of the money is on the over. 98% of the money is on Kansas City money line. I don't think that surprises anybody, other than the fact that it's not 100%.
Right.
What do you see betting in
This
this game?
is-
I know we went over Danny White's
Yeah.
picks, and this again is one of Danny White's picks.
I'm going to stick with Danny on this one as well.
Minus 6.5.
I think this is easy, 6.5. The Chiefs, after getting embarrassed last week by my Bills, I think they come to Washington, and I think they lay the hammer down. That Washington defense, we talked about it before the season started. We thought it was going to be a significantly better defense than it's turned out to be.
Very much so.
And I think they're going to look like shit again. And I think Mahomes is going to have a field day. And I see this as at least a 2-score game that the Chiefs take it by.
I kind of echo that. I look at this game and I see Kansas City needing to come out and prove something.
This is like their get right game.
It's a get right game for the whole season for them,
Yeah.
because they're not looking very
No.
good. They're not looking like the world beaters they were looking like in the last few years.
And like we talked about before the season started, they've played a lot of football in the past 3 years.
Yes, they have.
They've played a lot of football. And at some point, that catches up to you.
It does. It absolutely does, and it kind of looks like it is catching up to it.
Yeah.
And I look at that Chiefs team, and I don't understand. To me, it looks like, and I know I've said this before, it looks like Mahomes is always trying to make the home run play.
Yep.
As opposed to just taking what the defense is giving them. And you basically could hit Tyreek Hill cutting across the middle on almost every single
Oh,
play.
absolutely. Yeah.
But they're kind of always going for the home run, and it's not just him. It's the way they call the offense sometimes too.
But the referees are screwing him too, according to his fucking twat
oh
wife.
god, if players' wives could just get off of social media and
Seriously, man.
stop talking about their husbands and the teams and the refs and all that,
Lord.
just stop. Baker Mayfield's wife did that recently as
Yeah.
well. So like, just come on, guys.
Yeah.
And I know Stafford's wife has done it notoriously.
Oh yeah.
Just give it up.
Oh,
give it up.
The Chiefs, we never get the benefit of the calls. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. So looking at the fantasy side of this, obviously I think you play all of your Chiefs, right?
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
that's there's no doubt you're not sitting them. And Darrell Williams is an interesting one as well. You don't really know how that backfield is going to shape out with him and McKinnon back there without CEH.
Yeah.
I think Darrell Williams is going to be the workhorse guy, but McKinnon will be sprinkled in with some receiving and some third down work.
Yep.
And then on the other side of the ball, I really like Taylor Heineke this week. That Chiefs defense can be thrown on.
So bad.
It's
The defense is horrendous.
Yeah, he's got terrific streaming appeal this week. If you're streaming quarterbacks, or if you have a quarterback on a bye, or you had Russell Wilson who got injured, Taylor Heineke's a guy that I would throw in this week with confidence.
I will say one thing about the Chiefs side of the ball.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, he is questionable. We'll figure that out later in the show.
Okay.
So if we get it before the end of the show, we'll let you know.
Okay.
And same thing with Terry McLaurin.
McLaurin is questionable,
but they said he's expected to play.
Yeah, I think Schefter
Yeah.
said something about 8 hours ago. Said he was
Right.
expected to play.
Yeah. Same thing for Antonio Gibson as well.
Okay.
He's expected to play. So
Yeah, and Antonio he's dealing with that stress fracture that he's been dealing with, and,
Yep.
and I think he's been playing with that since like week 1. He's been playing every week, so I don't think that's a question whether he's going to
Yep.
start or not. McLaurin is one you want to watch because he popped up on the injury report late in the week
Yep.
with some tightness in his hamstring. So
yeah, like I said, if we get notification of it before the end of the show, we'll do our best to let you know.
we'll put it out there for you.
Yep.
And then with that, I if McLaurin plays, I love him in this game.
Oh, absolutely.
Heineke and McLaurin in this game, I'm actually putting them in a lot of DFS lineups this week.
Yeah.
I love that combination. I love that stack for a DFS lineup. And then for your regular lineups, like I said, if you have to stream a quarterback, or if you had Russell Wilson and he got injured, if you are desperate at quarterback, or you're trying to struggle to fill that spot, maybe your quarterback's on a bye this week because there are byes. Heineke's a great play this week. I love that play this week. He's got so much upside potential in this game.
And like you said, especially against that abomination of a defense, he should definitely put up some numbers.
Yeah, and he's been putting up some decent numbers anyway.
Yeah.
For a guy that you wouldn't expect to put up decent numbers. So,
Right.
all right.
Seriously, watching this Dolphins Jaguars game this morning in London, and like we talked about before the show, I know we hate England, but we sent them the shittiest matchups for these London games, man. It's so bad.
Well, and we also said, we talked about it, Miami wasn't expected to be this bad. I mean, they were expected to be a decent team. They were expected to be a playoff contender.
Yeah.
And here they are coming into this game at 1-4. And, of course, the Jags are 0-5. I mean, the Jags, we kind of knew were going to be a back alley abortion. But
Yes.
this matchup is not sexy.
Not even remotely sexy. This is the opposite of sexy. Oh, good Lord. This is just bad.
Oh, wow.
Anyways.
Yeah. So next matchup, we're going to move on to Minnesota traveling to Carolina. Carolina's plus 2.5 at home. And let's see, 64% of the money is on Carolina giving up that 2.5. The over-under's at 45.5. 56% of the money is on the over. And money line, 58% of the money is on Carolina with the money line.
Yeah.
I'll lead this one off with the betting aspect. I know Dan didn't put this as one of his picks. I really like Carolina at home.
Yeah, I do. I do as well, even without CMC.
Yeah. I would definitely take that 2.5 points and be happy with that.
Yep.
Carolina, even though they don't have CMC, Hubbard has shown he can be decent enough. I like the way that passing game has been, and Carolina's defense is damn good.
Yeah, and they just added what's his nuts, Stephon Gilmore to that
Yeah.
defense. So I'm assuming he's playing today.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't, the defense is still damn good.
Yeah, it is.
And adding that piece, if he's out there, to me, I like this game with Carolina at home, getting the 2.5.
And that's the thing with Minnesota; it's such a Jekyll and Hyde team.
They are.
It really is.
They are.
Like
It's like Cincinnati that we were talking
Yeah.
about. I mean, they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati's better than we thought at the beginning of the year, but again, kind of Jekyll and Hyde, up and down. And Minnesota's the same way. It's you never know what team you're going to get out of Minnesota. Are they going to come out and be world beaters? And Justin Jefferson's going to get 120 yards in the first half. Thielen's going to get a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook is expected to play today, so that is a boost for their offense.
Yeah.
But I think I see Carolina pulling this game out.
Yeah, I do too. I love Carolina laying in 2.5, 100%. I would honestly hammer that if I were to bet it. So, yeah, that's definitely a good call on your part.
And then fantasy aspect, do you see anything on your side of this?
Not particularly. I don't think this is a great fantasy matchup for either team. Yeah, I mean, I think Darno might have a solid game. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular or anything like that, but
What's good with him is he's been rushing the ball more, which you saw at USC, but you never really saw on the Jets because he was never really comfortable on the Jets. Adam Gase, got to get in my one Adam Gase comment for the week.
Yeah.
With that being said, he has added that rushing aspect to his repertoire.
Yeah.
And he had that at USC. He is a mobile quarterback, and he can get you as he's shown this year. He can get you 2 rushing touchdowns, which saves your day fantasy wise for him. So I think it's a good play for him. And DJ Moore has been outstanding this year. That connection between Darnold and Moore has been insane so far to start the season. So you look at that side of the ball, and I think you're definitely starting Darnold in a 2 quarterback league if you have him, and also he's an option if you have him in a 1 quarterback league or if you're streaming, depending on what your other options are. You know, I look at him as I got him ranked at 13th for the week. So he's a guy that he's right on the fringe of a 12-team starter, depending on who you have.
Right.
And then the other side of the ball, you're obviously playing Cook, you're playing Jefferson. Those are every week starters.
Yep. Those are your guys.
Cousins, I don't know if I throw him out here in this one.
I look at the rankings I got. Like Darno and Cousins are like they're right next to each other.
Yeah,
so
and
it's not a great matchup for either guy.
It's not necessarily ideal.
No,
it's not necessarily ideal. But if you have Cousins and you don't really have any other options, you could do worse, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those matchups where you're like, I don't know.
You could do better.
You could do better. You could do worse.
Right.
They're just kind of right there.
Yeah.
So, and actually in my rankings, I look back at that. I actually have them ranked very similar, right there with each other. They're actually back to back.
Yep. Yeah, that's not. This matchup is not going to help your fantasy team. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
it's not going to help your fantasy.
No,
team.
And then so you look at Chuba Hubbard. He's a start again.
Yeah.
Because McCaffrey just got put on IR. Right.
Yeah, so he'll be out for the next 3 games.
Out at least 3 weeks, which is odd to me because they should have done that to start with. Like they said he was going to be out 2 weeks, so they didn't put him on IR, and now the 3rd week into this, they're like, all right, well we're going to put him on IR now.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe they're playing it safe with their franchise player, but it just seems odd to me.
Yeah.
But if you have Chuba Hubbard, I hope you didn't drop him. I actually made the mistake of dropping him in one league. I did pick up a sort of a different player with equal upside when I dropped him, but I kind of wish I didn't do that.
Right.
I was a little too hasty on the CMC is coming back this week.
You were all aboard that train.
Yeah, I dropped Hubbard and picked up another back, but yeah, it just bad move on my part. It is what it is, but I hope you didn't do that. I hope you're not me. And if somebody did, check your league. If somebody dropped them, go pick them up right now.
Absolutely.
That's a good play for the next 3 weeks.
No doubt.
So we're going to move on to the Houston traveling to Indianapolis matchup. Indianapolis is minus 10.5.
Wow.
Let's see, 66% of the money is on Houston getting the 10.5. I think it's kind of smart. 43.5 is the over, and 71% of the money is on the over. 85% of the money is on Indianapolis money line, which I don't think surprises anybody at a 10.5 point spread. What do you see in this one, Chris? I'll be honest with you. I don't see shit. I'm not touching this game.
Oh, I would not touch this game. The only thing I would even remotely come close to touching in this game is the over. That's it. I would not. I would not touch that spread to save my life.
Yeah, the over is intriguing. 43.5. I mean, NFL teams, they accidentally hit 43.5 sometimes. I mean, that's just even teams that look like they're trying to not score hit 43.5 in a game combined.
I said I would go with the over if first of all, if you're betting this game, you're a fucking degenerate.
Yeah.
But if you are going to bet it, the only thing I would touch in this game is the over. Other than that, I would leave it alone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. On the fantasy aspect of this, I think if you're going to trot out some Houston Texans and actually expect the game they had last week, I think you're sadly mistaken. Not that Indianapolis' defense is really that good, but I think that game last week is just an anomaly.
Yeah.
It was a weird fluky game where New England just could not do anything on defense right. And Davis Mills looked like Tom Brady. I mean, it was one of those weird games that you're just like, all right, well, great game for them. Great game for I forgot his name, Chris something. He came out of nowhere. They signed him off the practice squad, I believe. Brought him up to the active roster. He had 5 catches for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about.
I would not start him. I'm just saying I would not do that. Don't expect big games out of any of these guys. I think if you have Brandon Cooks, you're hesitant at this point. He's had a couple of down games after the first 3 weeks of having very, very good games. At this point, I think maybe you're still on board of trotting him out there, putting him in your lineup. He's right now he's sporting a 40% target share, which is 8.8 targets. That's heavy target share. I think you still my big thing in fantasy football is you always look for the volume of touches.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So you even if they're not producing that much right now, I always go for volume of touches over a guy that might have gotten a few touches and really produced, because those big plays aren't necessarily always there. And the amount of targets, the amount of catches, the amount of touches as far as running backs go, you want that.
Yep.
You want that volume.
Like I'm looking at these rankings for this game. I wouldn't play anybody from this game.
It's a tough one, and really on that side of the ball, Cooks is the only one I would really think about starting. On the opposite side, I love Jonathan Taylor this week.
That's fair.
I love Jonathan Taylor this
right.
week. They're finally starting to use him correctly again.
Yeah, and I mean, if you got Wentz, like especially if you got a 2-quarterback league,
Yeah.
QB2, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, and Wentz had a good game this last game as far as fantasy goes. I mean, he played well, and even in real life, he played pretty damn well. Michael Pittman is a guy that I think he has now made it into your lineups as far as maybe a wide receiver 3 or a flex. He's a guy that's moved up there. He's getting the targets. He's making the best out of what he's getting as well. He's getting 9.8 targets a game with a 28% share. So I mean, and he's averaging 16.6 fantasy points per game. I don't think you can scoff at that. I think he's wide receiver 14 on the year, I believe. So that's a guy that you want to get out there. There's a potential return of T.Y. Hilton, which a lot of people are making a big deal about. I don't. I think the guy's done. I don't see him being a big deal at all. He might have a decent game here or there, but I don't see T.Y. Hilton taking anything away from Michael Pittman Jr. or really anybody else on that roster. The 3 main players I see in this game are Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., and Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
With your Carson Wentz as like a dart throw quarterback in a 2-quarterback league, or even if you're streaming quarterbacks or having a problem at your quarterback position with injuries.
He might be a good fill-in like for a bye week quarterback or something like that. Yeah,
absolutely. All right, next up we have Los Angeles. We have the Rams traveling to New York City to play the Giants.
No, they're traveling to East Rutherford, New Jersey.
East Rutherford, New Jersey. Sorry, yeah. Plus, New York is +8 on this game.
I got it at 7.5, but yeah.
Okay. The Rams have 84% of the money on that -8. And let's see, over 49 is the over-under in this game. It's pretty much dead even on money there. 97% of the money is on the money line for the Rams. This is not a game I would necessarily touch.
Nope.
If I had to choose, I would choose the Rams minus that either 7.5 or 8, depending on where you're looking. The Giants just showed last week they can't keep pace with a lot of teams. They couldn't keep pace with Dallas last week, which I thought they might be able to. They've got a lot of injuries going into this game. I know Daniel Jones has been cleared to play from that concussion, but still, what kind of lingering effects is he going to have? I know if he's been cleared, he doesn't have any like headaches or dizziness or anything like that. But still, you know, how well is he going to play coming into this game? And the Rams are damn good. And I see this as maybe one of those get right games for that Rams defense. They haven't been very good this season, even though they were ranked as one of the top fantasy defenses coming into this year.
Right.
I think this could be a get right game for them. I think if you have the Rams defense, I think this is one of those games where you maybe expect that bounce back and that defense scoring the points that you were expecting.
I would actually take the Giants getting the points, and I would actually take the under in this as well. It's
Gotcha.
those cross country trips. Those are tough games. They just are.
Yep.
It's a fact. So that's the way I look at this game. I do believe the Rams will win the game, but
Right.
I would absolutely take the Giants getting the points. And if you wanted to bet the over under, take the under.
All right. I like that. Fantasy wise, I think you play the big guys. You play Stafford, right?
Right.
And Kupp and Woods, right? I think Jefferson's a kind of a DFS, a sneaky DFS play, or even a guy if you're having injuries. I picked him up in one of my leagues where I had some injuries at wide receiver plus some buys going on. I was really desperate at wide receiver.
Yeah.
I picked him up as like a dart throw play.
Darrell Henderson Jr.
Yes.
That's the guy.
Yes.
If you got that dude, play him.
Yeah, he faces a Giants run defense that's ranked number 26
Yep.
in rush DVOA. That's allowing the 5th most fantasy points per games to opposing backs. So with Henderson, he's a legit bell cow at this point. I know Sony Michel mixes in a little bit, but I think you got to look at Darrell Henderson as a number 1 running back right now, and especially in this matchup. On the other side of the ball, it's hard to see what's going to happen over there. You got Saquon, who is sidelined with another injury.
Jesus.
Penn
State running backs, man.
Dude, that guy cannot stay healthy. And it was such a fluke injury, too.
Yeah, it was.
Such a weird injury. With that being said, I do like Devontae Booker going forward as long as Saquon Barkley's out. He came in, and he was the workhorse once Barkley went out. He was receiving out of the backfield. He was getting all the carries pretty much. I see him getting the volume and the targets to be ranked up there to be a running back to a flex starter for your team today. Other than that, I don't see much. Maybe Kadarius Toney.
That's what I was just going to bring up. If you got maybe like a flex guy or something like that, and as long as he doesn't try to punch somebody and get kicked out of the game,
Right.
Which I still don't understand why guys throw punches at dudes wearing helmets. It
It's
makes
the
no
dumbest.
fucking-
It's
no
the dumbest
fucking
shit
sense
ever.
to me.
Marvin Jones touchdown.
But yeah, if you need like a last minute guy to throw in there, I think Toney might be a solid play for you today. Other than that, but if you got better guys, play them. But this is more of like an emergency thing, I think.
and Toney has been a pretty good wide receiver the last couple weeks.
Yep.
He started off slow. When the Giants drafted him, I actually told you guys I loved him as a wide receiver.
Yep.
Like I thought he was going to be very good for the Giants, and he didn't start off that way. But the last 2 weeks, he has looked like the guy I thought he would be.
Right.
And you just got to put him in your lineup and hope that continues.
Oh, absolutely.
And watching this game, by the way, it is now 13-10 Miami over Jacksonville with 40 seconds left in the second quarter.
I hope this game ends in a tie. I really do.
I hope the refs win.
Seriously.
All right, I think we're going to move on from that game. Next up is another Los Angeles team, the Chargers traveling to Baltimore. -3 for Baltimore at home. 77% of the money is on the Chargers getting that 3. Over-unders at 50.5. 80% of the money is on the over. And 84% of the money is on the Chargers' money line. Now, in this game, I'm going to tell you, I'm all over the Chargers in this game.
I am as well. Yeah.
I picked them in a couple of my pools.
Yeah.
Not Survivor, because that would be stupid.
That would be incredibly stupid.
But as far as like the actual pick'em pools, I picked them in a couple of those. I am going to sprinkle some money on the Chargers in this game, getting the 3 points and on the money line. I just like them in this game. They're one of those teams right now that looks very tough to beat because if it's a shootout, they can outshoot you.
Yep.
And if it's a slow prodding game, they can play that too.
I mean, they have arguably the best quarterback in the game right now.
Arguably.
Yes.
Arguably.
And that dude's playing some stellar football right now.
He is.
And honestly, the last few games with Baltimore, just the way they've won those games, like coming down to like fluke stuff, and they needed like a turnover to win the game, and they needed a 66-yard field goal to win a game
Against the Lions.
I don't see that continuing. I don't. And now they're going to go up against a team that's like very formidable, and that's actually a good football team. And Honestly, I think the Chargers take it to them.
Oh, Dan hopped on here. I didn't even see this. He said, "Why is the line moving down for the Rams? Seeing it down to 7.5 now."
Yeah, that's what I had.
That's what Chris said he had. I had it at 8, but yeah, you're right. It is a little odd that line is moving down. Probably because a lot of people are putting money on the Giants right now. I don't know.
That's what I would throw my money.
Dan, we actually did get to that game. Like the Chiefs and the Rams teased down to -120. The Chiefs, you talk about taking the Chiefs and the Rams in a parlay. If that's what you're talking about, yeah. But I actually did give out your picks already, and we actually touched on that Chiefs game already.
We did, yes.
So looking at this matchup, the Chargers and Baltimore on the fantasy aspect of it, I think this is a great game fantasy wise because I really do believe this is going to be a shootout.
I do. I absolutely do as well. I think they're definitely going to hit the over on this. But I think a lot of guys are going to have big days.
Yeah, and I would keep an eye on Mike Williams. He's questionable going into the game. I haven't seen anything concrete about him yet. Do keep an eye on that. But if he plays, I think you play him. I like everybody in this game, truthfully, and on both sides of the ball, honestly. Yeah. You know, I like Mark Andrews in this game a lot. I know he had a great game. He had a great game last game. Yeah. But he's averaging 17 fantasy points per game. And then you look at the Chargers, they've kind of run through what I would call buzzsaw of tight ends. And so Kelsey had 7 for 104 against them. Waller had 4 for 50 and a touchdown against him. Logan Thomas had 3 for 30 and a touchdown against him. And Njoku had 7 for 149 and a touchdown against him. You play Andrews, and you expect a big game at this point. I mean,
you would hope so. He's getting paid like a top tight end.
Yeah, and he is for the most part if they use him correctly.
Right.
And with all that production given up to other tight ends, I would absolutely try him out there and be happy with this matchup.
Be careful if you have Hollywood Brown. You never know which Hollywood Brown you're going to get.
Yeah, he might drop a couple of touchdowns, but I think you still play him.
You do play him. I think you have to, but again, you got to be careful with that because again, you never know which one you're going to get.
And Dan says Mike should go, so Mike Williams should go.
Yeah.
And then he says Chiefs -0.5 and Rams -1.5 teased is -120. I'm going to slam that shit, is what he says. I also like the Chargers quite a bit here, too. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Dan, because having you on the side that I pick is always good for me.
Yeah, never, it doesn't hurt.
No, not at all. So looking at the fantasy aspect of this game, just to wrap this up for the fantasy aspect, Herbert, Jackson, Eckler, Williams, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, you're playing them. You're expecting really good games out of them. And for me, your dart throws are Latavius Murray and Jared Cook. Jared Cook is especially a good one if Mike Williams does not go. But I think you could even look at him as a potential play, even if Williams is out there.
Right. Nope.
All right, next matchup. Going to go Green Bay traveling to Chicago. Chicago's +5.5 at home in this one. 81% of the money is on Green Bay -5.5. Over-unders at 44. It's dead even split on the money there. And then money line, 98% of the money is on Green Bay. What do you see in this one?
I don't like anything about this game at all.
No?
No. I really don't. I mean, Rodgers is he's gonna do his thing. You know, he's gonna put up points, whatever. Yep. I wouldn't betting wise. Again, it's a rivalry game. It's in it's in Chicago. So with Green Bay laying 5.5. I mean, if you took that, I wouldn't hate you for it. But other than that, I honestly wouldn't touch this game. I really wouldn't.
No, if I did anything in this game, I might tease it up a couple points and get Chicago +7.5.
Right.
I don't think they lose this by more than a touchdown, but even then, I'm probably not going to touch this one.
Nope.
I'm just like I said, if I did anything, I'd tease him in maybe a parlay or something. With teasing up to like
that's just a weird line.
7.5.
It's just a weird line, 5.5.
Yeah, it is. It's an odd one.
Yeah.
With that being said, so looking at the fantasy aspect of this one, I like Khalil Herbert as a DFS play this week.
Okay.
And like is actually not strong enough. I love Khalil Herbert as the he's going to be the workhorse back this week. And he looked damn good last week when he was splitting carries with Damian Williams. He actually had more carries than him. So Damian Williams is out with COVID. Montgomery's out with an injury. So Khalil Herbert is your guy. And if you were able to pick him up and play him in a league, that's great. But DFS, fucking put him in your lineups. Pay down for him. You're getting a starting running back at I think FanDuel he's 5,400. So
Really?
yeah, you're getting a starting running back right now at 5,400. Then you could spend up at other positions. I think that's a brilliant fucking
solid.
move. If you're playing in tournaments, I think a lot of people are going to do that. So you're not really being contrarian there, but it does give you the chance to be contrarian in other positions that you pick.
Look at you breaking out the big words. Nicely done. Sir.
Listen, I went to school. I think it's one of those plays where you can play that and expect a lot of people to also play that in tournament plays, but also you can then be contrarian in your other picks.
Yeah.
And you have options and room to work in your other picks in DFS by using him in your lineup. I think the main plays here are Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't really like anybody else on the Chicago side of the ball, truthfully.
No.
Allen Robinson, if you drafted him, I feel sorry for you. I actually want to take up a GoFundMe for you because it's just his season has not been very good, and I think a lot of that's play calling as well. I mean, he's kind of being wasted on that roster.
Your boy?
He's
Adam Nagy?
Adam Nagy. That fucking guy. Another one, Darnell Mooney, man. He's actually a really good receiver that he's being wasted. And until things change as far as the offensive play calling and that offense goes, I don't think you really trust anybody. I like Justin Fields, but I don't really like him in fantasy right now because the play calling is so atrocious.
Yep. No, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, like I said, other than some guys on Green Bay, I'm not a huge fan of anybody else in this game.
Yeah. Nope. I'm with you there. All right. Next game, we're going to take on, it's Arizona traveling to Cleveland.
That's sexy.
Yeah. -3 for Cleveland in this game at home. Over-unders at 48. You got 76% of the money on the over in this game, which I obviously see that happening.
I would hammer the over on this.
The money right here on the -3 for Cleveland is basically dead nut split. It's 50-50 on who's taking Arizona plus the 3 or who's taking Cleveland minus the 3.
Wow.
And then money line, 80% of the money is on Arizona.
Okay.
And I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm taking Cleveland to win this game at home.
Yeah, I am as well. I'll take the Brownies. 100%.
I think the Browns actually hand Arizona their first loss of the season. I don't necessarily think I would take the -3 in this.
No.
Because it very well could be a last-second field goal, I should say.
Yep.
It could be a 1-point win. So I'm going to take the Browns money line in this one and probably put them in a parlay somewhere.
Yeah.
But I do pick Cleveland to win this game at home.
And Jarvis is coming back this week, right?
Well, he practiced.
From what I read, he's coming back.
Yeah, he practiced. They haven't taken him off of IR yet.
Oh, they haven't?
Not yet. No, not from what I've seen.
Really? I could have sworn I read that he was back, he was off IR and they're bringing him back this week.
They brought him back to practice, but
Right.
they have 3 weeks to take him off of IR and
Okay.
get him back into the lineup.
Got it.
I did not see that he's been brought back yet. I'm gonna actually look that up right now for a second. If you give me a second here, and I'll give you a definite answer
Right.
on that.
And then Odell is out.
Odell?
Yeah, or is he playing?
No, he's playing.
He's playing?
He's playing, but he's not necessarily one.
He's a bum. He's a bum.
Right now I see Jarvis Landry still being listed on IR, so he's back at practice, but
Okay.
he's still on IR. They haven't taken him off yet.
Got it.
So in that case, he won't suit up against the Cardinals.
All right.
I know a lot of people are picking Odell to have a bounce back game. And Dan says he's on the Browns as well. So I love the fact when you're on the picks that I make, Dan. It makes me feel so much better.
Odell's a bum. That dude's washed up.
Listen, and I listen. So Brownies fans are going to when they hear this and listen to this, which some of them do, they're going to give me shit for this. But because there's been so many people saying that Baker's Baker's not doing what he needs to do. Odell's not doing what he needs to do. There's something wrong with that connection. I'm not saying what it is. I don't know what it is. There is something wrong with that connection.
Yeah,
when you have the game that they had with the Chargers,
yeah,
and Odell has 2 catches for 20 yards, there's something wrong with that connection there. I'm not saying it's Baker. I'm not saying it's Odell, but that connection
I'm going to say
is broken.
It's Odell. It's not. It's Odell.
That's kind of where I lean to it because Baker has shown he is a good NFL quarterback, right?
Yep,
I mean,
yep.
he can be accurate, but for some reason, him and Odell are just not on the same page hardly ever.
They haven't been since they've been together, since Odell got traded to the Browns.
Yeah. Well, and Dan here says Odell is irrelevant when Hunt's gonna run for 130. And I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I'd say fantasy wise, yeah. Start that dude.
He also says the team isn't built for OBJ or Baker. I agree on one aspect of that. It isn't built for OBJ. You're right.
No.
He's again, I kind of agree with you, Chris. I think he's kind of washed. I think he's.
I think all the injuries he's had, it's finally starting to take its toll on him.
It just he doesn't seem like he's all in.
Nope.
He says Baker works because he doesn't have to win them games. I kind of agree with that.
When you have that type of running game,
yeah, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, with that Stefanski offense that he brought over from Minnesota, I mean that's what you get with that.
Right.
And I think Baker takes a little bit of heat. Obviously, I'm a Baker fan, but I think he gets too much heat. He has proven throughout his college career that he can win games for you, and if he needed to, he can. He can duel it out with the best. I mean, he just showed it last week, but. That connection right there, there's just something fucking wrong with that connection.
Yeah.
And that experiment needs to be over with just ASAP.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that.
So on the fantasy side of this game, looking at this, I'm looking at, obviously, okay, we'll just start with the obvious ones. Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
Because Chubb is out, and he's going to get all the carries. Hunt is one that I'm throwing in my DFS as well. Love him in DFS, and if you have him on your roster, you're just fucking ecstatic because now he doesn't have Chubb to take carries away from him and take half the carries, if not more. He's the main guy in this game, so play him and be fucking confident about it.
Obviously, D-Hop.
D-Hop for sure.
Yep.
Chase Edmonds. I'm fading Odell in everything, including if I have him on my regular roster as well. I'm just fading him all over the place. A dart throw for me would be Rondell Moore. Let's see. Because he does too many commercials. If he didn't, he wouldn't have the same attention. Yeah, Dan, I agree with you there because he does get extra attention because he does all his commercials. But I love the people that hate on him for doing the commercials. It's like, he's not doing those like during practice, right? Like he doesn't film those he films those during the offseason and they get played during games. Like he's not taking time away from the team to film commercials.
Don't tell fans that. They think that you should spend every waking moment studying game film and
right, like
down defenses and shit.
It's insane that people are like, well, no, of course he had a bad game. Did you see all the fucking commercials he was in?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't film those like during a timeout, bro.
Right.
Like that was during the off season where he wasn't practicing and he didn't have to work on anything. But yeah, no, I agree with you. He gets a lot of attention, and he had a lot of attention coming out of college, and it was partly due to his own marketing of himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he put himself out there, so part of that's on him, but he is one of those out there players that you either hate him or you love him.
Honestly, he reminded me like when Bosworth came out from Oklahoma.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he did, like just that, like how he marketed himself. It's
Yeah.
like, it's either you liked him or you fucking hated him.
Right.
And you know what side I fell on?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I'm still not a Baker fan, but I like him more than I did when he came out of college.
Yeah.
But he's that type of guy for people. Is either you like him or you hate him. It's one or the other, man.
It really is with him, and that's and even before he got drafted
or you could just have an unnatural hatred, an unhealthy hatred, like fucking Colin Cowherd does for Baker.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
That's
man.
just that's a weird hatred.
It's like Skip Bayless's hatred on LeBron. It's like, dude, this shit's unhealthy, man.
Yeah,
like, dude,
like Colin Cowherd spends half of every one of his shows just talking shit about Baker Mayfield.
It's like, why do you got such a hard on for this guy, dude?
Bro, what's your issue?
This is nuts. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's so true though.
And,
Like
yeah.
every time I look at something with Colin Cowherd, it's something about Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield.
Like he could be talking about like the NBA and somehow equate it to Baker Mayfield. Like
His
how much he
hatred.
hates Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. So let's see. So going back to this game though, I think I don't necessarily think I play Baker in this game. Of course, if you have him and you have no other options,
Yeah.
you kind of have to. But I don't think anybody has Baker Mayfield as their one and only option in fantasy. He's a streaming guy. I think he could be effective against this Arizona defense. They have shortcomings in the secondary, so as long as that front four doesn't get to him and he has a little bit of time to throw the ball, I think he could do well in this game. But he wouldn't be my first option to go to.
No.
The main guys: Kyler, Hunt, Hopkins, Chase Edmonds,
Yep.
and like I said, a dart throw with Rondell Moore, maybe even a dart throw with AJ Green. All right, next matchup. We're going to move on. Las Vegas traveling to Denver. Denver, I have -4. I know this one's been moving a little bit. This one is -4 for Denver. 55% of the money is on Denver minus that 4. Over-unders at 44. Almost even on the money there on over and under. And 54% of the money is on Denver money line.
I have no idea with this game because I don't know what Raiders team you're going to get.
Right.
Not a clue. I
There's
don't know.
There's a lot of people saying that this is a game where you take the Raiders because they're going to come out with fire. Because listen, they just lost their head coach.
Right.
They have an interim head coach, and they're going to come out and play with fire and vengeance. And I'll be honest with you, I lean on the other side of this one. And Denver's not necessarily great, but they're at home. They have a good defense, and Vegas really hasn't shown me much other than those first 2 games were really good with them, and then they kind of fell off. And I know they've had a lot of problems, right? We'll just say problems.
Yeah.
Let's throw that word out there.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually lean towards Denver in this one. I might buy this down to 2.5. That way I'm not giving up a full field goal.
Right.
But I do like Denver at home in this game.
Yeah, if I had to lean one way or the other, that's probably how I would lean. Just again, because it's too much uncertainty with the Raiders. You don't know what you're going to get, and like you just said, you say, oh, they're going to come out fired up, they're going to come out galvanized, blah blah blah. Maybe, but again, I don't want to take that risk if I'm betting money on that with a team that's fractured right now,
Right?
You know, with all the shit that just went down. So, yeah, if I were to bet this game, I would absolutely put money on the on the Broncos.
Yeah. Yep, I like that. And then, so we'll look at the fantasy aspect of this one. I kind of expect a slow-paced game. I expect some running.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I got distracted at the TV there a little bit. What? I got distracted.
Yeah.
All right. I expect a slow-paced game here, and I believe both teams are going to try and establish the run. I don't necessarily like Josh Jacobs in this game. He's averaging just 3.14 a carry against 2 beatable run defenses in the Chargers and Green Bay. I just don't see him having a good game here, which is one of the reasons why I see Denver pulling this game out. And Derek Carr faces a real challenging matchup with the Broncos here. They have held quarterbacks to the lowest completion rate in the league, 55.1%, and the second fewest fantasy points.
Yeah.
In the league.
I do like Javonte Williams though in this game.
Love Javonte Williams this
Yep.
game.
Yep.
Love him in this game.
Yep.
I think he has started to be the guy that's getting a few more carries than Melvin Gordon. He's eventually going to out.
And especially with Melvin Gordon, he's questionable. We don't know
Yeah,
if he's even going to play or not.
he's been banged up, and
he is expected to play though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think all along, I think we all expected Javonte Williams to at one point unseat Melvin Gordon.
Yep.
I think this game might actually be the game where he truly does it. He's been kind of trending in that direction, and I do love him in this game because I think it's going to be a very prodding, run-oriented game. I do like Cortland Sutton a little bit as like a big play guy who listen, they're going to run some play action. They're going to run the ball a lot, but they're going to run some play action. He can get open. He's a good receiver that can go up and get the ball at the high point. I like him in this game. Along with Darren Waller, of course, because you're not starting anybody else if you have Darren Waller on your team.
Right. Right.
A couple of dart throws this is such a good game running wise. Melvin Gordon, if he plays, could get some some carry in this game. He could sneak out a touchdown. He's a dart throw. And then Tim Patrick, the receiver on the other side of Cortland Sutton. If Cortland Sutton's taking some coverage away, Tim Patrick could see a decent game in this one. And then another obvious play is Noah Fant. If you have him on your roster as a tight end, you probably don't have anything better, so you're trying him out there. And it's a decent matchup for him. I think he can do pretty well in this game.
Yep, I would concur with this.
Anything else for you in that one?
Nope.
All right. Moving on. We're going to go with Dallas traveling to New England. Plus 3.5 for New England at home in this game. 83% of the money is on Dallas, minus that 3.5. The over-under's at 50.5. 75% of the money is on the under in that one.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And 95% of the money is on Dallas money line.
Okay.
I'm all over Dallas. In that game.
1,000%.
I'm all over Dallas, even minus the 3.5. Might tease it down to 2.5. Love. I would even sprinkle in some money line and some parlays here because I think Dallas will win this game no matter what. Even if you don't think they're going to win it by 3.5.
Now I know one of Dan's picks was he took the Pats getting a 3.5. Right?
He did. And this is one of those times where my pick differs from Dan, and this is one of those where I'm not going to pull off my pick. I'm probably going to lose it because Dan because Dan's not on this one.
Right.
But this is just one of those where a lot of times if Dan picks against me, I'll be like, yeah, maybe, I'll probably sit this one out because he is so good at what he does.
Yep.
But with this one, I don't know. I feel very confidently about the Cowboys in this one.
Yeah.
Looking at the fantasy matchup,
I don't like anybody on the Patriots. I don't.
Yeah, it's very tough to say you would like anybody on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers might be the only guy.
Okay.
He gets enough targets that he might be the only guy.
Yeah.
I would play. He gets 27% of the target share. He's averaging 9.2 targets a game. But Trayvon Diggs is probably going to be aligned to play over top of him, and he's been shutting some guys down, and he's been getting a lot of interceptions. But he's really the only guy I see as far as Dallas goes.
You start your big boys.
Exactly. Dak, Zeke, Lamb,
Even
Cooper.
Though Zeke is questionable, but it looks like he's going to play. But for like a dart throw, take his backup. What's his? It's Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Yep.
Another one I like in this game that I'm playing in some DFS lineups is Hunter Henry.
Okay.
He's come on lately, and he's obviously on the other side of the ball in this one. He's playing for the Pats, but we've quietly seen Hunter Henry emerge over the last few weeks with a spike in his Week 5 game. He was targeted on a season high 29% of his routes. He had 8 targets overall. So he had 6 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. I like him in this game. I like him to continue that momentum in this game. So he's kind of a nice dart throw play for me that I would try out there in DFS.
And if you're looking for a tight end, Dalton Schultz.
Yes,
I like the way that dude's been playing the past few weeks. I think he's becoming more and more of a reliable target for Dak.
Very much.
So I think he's going to get you some points this week for sure.
Yep, and he for a tight end in that offense, he's getting 20% of the target share.
There you go.
So I mean, he's a guy that you would look at, and I think he's almost to an every week starter now.
Yeah,
close.
Like I said, I think each week he's getting more and more targets, more and more playing time. So I think this week he's going to get you some points for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like that play a lot. Next matchup, we're going to move on. It's going to be Seattle traveling to Pittsburgh, -5 for Pittsburgh at home in this one. 70% of the money is on Pittsburgh minus that 5.
Which should be a sexy matchup. Not sexy.
Not sexy at all.
Nope.
Let's see. And the over-under's at 43.
Yep.
With 60% of the money on the over. And 74% of the money is on Pittsburgh money line. I'm not really touching this game.
Nope.
I mean, Geno Smith's at quarterback. Nope. Geno Smith's at quarterback for Seattle.
I would absolutely take the under if I had to bet it.
Yeah.
Other than
I
that,
kind of lean with you there.
Not touching it.
Even though 43 is such a low under.
But
other than that, I'm just not going near this game, man.
Nope.
I don't want any part of this game. I'm not touching it.
Nope.
I might do some single game parlays because it's the late game tonight. So I might just to be able to watch it and have some fun with it. I might do a single game parlay. Just throw in some some player props
Yeah,
in
for
there
sure.
and do something weird that way. But other than that, I'm not really going to touch any part of this game.
Nope.
As far as even the over under or the
Nope.
the giving up any points, the money line.
Definitely
anything.
staying away from this one.
With that being said, the players I like in this game fantasy wise, Najee Harris,
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson, Claypool, and then of course DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and then Chris Carson is out. So Alex Collins is a sneaky play here. Even in DFS, he's kind of a sneaky play because he's going to get most of the carries at least. And let's say there's really not much to be said about the rest of this game. Maybe your quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, maybe a dart throw on this one, or a deeper, maybe a 2-quarterback play, or if you have some injuries and some buys with quarterbacks, maybe you play him. But
Fucking noodle
because Seattle's defense is just not
bad.
not that great, so he has a chance to succeed in this game.
Yeah.
But I don't really think I love anybody in this game.
Nope. Other than Najee?
I mean, Najee
Yeah.
gets so listen, he's getting the carries, he's getting the targets. Again, it's all about touches, right? I mean,
Yep.
he's getting that quantity of touches. So he's a big play here. Last week when Geno Smith entered the game, he kind of keyed in on DK.
Yeah.
So DK could have a very good game tonight, and it seemed like Geno was looking to DK on every drop back almost. So I'm a little nervous about Tyler Lockett. I have him in a couple leagues. It makes me nervous for him because he's more that big play guy that Russell could hit on deep throws when he got open. Whereas I don't see Geno being able to do that, and I saw Geno kind of key in and lock in on DK last week when he came in the game, so that worries me.
Did you hit on Deontay Johnson?
Yeah. Okay. So I just said I think he's
Yeah.
I think he's a good play today. Yeah.
I agree with you on that one. It's just both these teams, especially with Seattle having Geno Smith. Who, honestly, I totally forgot the dude was in the league when he came in to replace Wilson.
So did
I
I.
swear to God, I didn't know he was still in the league. But then you look at the Steelers' offense with like 85-year-old Roethlisberger back there who can barely stand up. This is. For fantasy purposes, I don't see this being a stellar game. I do think Najee will have a day because that Seattle defense is atrocious, and I do believe they're going to be able to run the ball, and I think that's what they're going to do quite a bit of. So
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Let's see. Next matchup is the last matchup for the week. It is Buffalo traveling to Tennessee. 4-1 Buffalo traveling to 3-2 Tennessee. Buffalo is minus 5.5 in this game. 77% of the money is on Buffalo. Minus that 5.5. 53 is the over/under. 68% of the money is on the over. And money line, 88% of the money is on Buffalo money line. I don't necessarily like the line in this one.
neither do I.
Money line, obviously, I like Buffalo, but that's not going to get you too much unless you sprinkle it in a parlay.
Right.
Buffalo's going to win this game. I'm just not sure they win this game. In my mind, they win this game, but they don't win it by necessarily 5.5.
I 1,000% agree with you. On
I can
this.
see this being a field goal game.
Yep.
I could see this, even though Buffalo has a great offense, I could see this being a grinded out.
I think that's
game.
exactly what's going to be. I think they're gonna run Derrick Henry into the freaking ground.
Well, and that could be, but honestly, this is not a good matchup for Derrick Henry either because Buffalo's defense is damn good, and that front four of theirs
Yeah,
is the best part of that defense.
it is now.
Yes, this year, but that's what I'm saying. In this year, that front four is the best part of that defense, and they can stop the run.
That's why I love that Rousseau pick in the draft this year.
You know how much I wanted him on Cleveland.
I know.
We talked about it. I
Yeah.
really wanted him on
when
Cleveland.
when he fell to the Bills, I'm like, awesome! I can't
Yep.
believe that dude fell to my team. I was so happy about that.
Yep. It was a very, very good pick.
Yeah.
As far as players in this game, I have Josh Allen ranked at number 2 at my quarterback.
I think
rankings.
he's either 2 or 1, depending on which side you're looking at.
Because even if it's a grind him out game, he's part of that grind him out game.
Yep.
They design runs for him,
Yes,
and
they
when
do.
they get down in the red zone, they design runs for him.
Yep.
He gets touchdowns. So I think he's still in a grind him out game. Your top 2 or 3 quarterback. And as far as Derrick Henry, I got him ranked 4, but I still this game makes me nervous if I have Derrick Henry on my fantasy team. This game makes me a little nervous. This could be one of those duds. He always
so?
puts up big games, He'll put up big games and then he'll have a couple of down ones, and put up big games and have he's been playing so well this year. They've been running him into the ground, like you said, pretty much. I know they're going to probably try to run him in the ground in this game. I think it's going to be tough against that Buffalo front four.
Okay. I could see him poaching some touchdowns, goal line stuff like that. But yardage wise, I don't think he's gonna put up like a huge game or anything like that. But I could see definitely around the goal line, he's gonna get you some points
because of his usage and because of who he is. I haven't ranked it at 4, but it's just a matchup that does make me a little nervous in this game. As far as the other side of the ball, I have Zach Moss ranked at number 24. So if you're putting him in there as a flex, it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I think it's going to be a grind him out game. So he's going to get a good amount of carries in this game. He does see the goal line carries if they give it to a running back. So I think he's a decent option this week at a flex position.
Yep.
Or if you've got some buys and injuries and you need a running back too.
I love Emmanuel Sanders in this game. Emmanuel Sanders in this game.
He has come on like gangbusters, bro.
He has.
I mean, that's the second receiver that Josh Allen needed.
Yep.
And everybody's kind of complaining about Stephon Diggs not having, as far as fantasy goes, not having great weeks.
No, he hasn't.
And he hasn't put up big numbers.
But defenses are keying on him.
Exactly.
As simple as that.
And you have a receiver on the other side of the ball now in Emmanuel Sanders who is a good receiver.
Yep.
He can catch contested passes. He can make the play when the ball might not be thrown where it needs to be thrown.
Yep.
And then also, Josh Allen, when he can put the ball where it needs to be, can hit an open receiver, and Emmanuel Sanders is getting open. So I like that play. I agree with that. It's a great play.
Another
today.
one, Dawson Knox.
Oh God! At this point, I think he's become an everyday starter as well. He's one that's come out of nowhere. He's got a rapport with Josh Allen. That is unbelievable.
They are they're boys, whatever.
Yeah.
That's if you got both of those guys, that's huge for your fantasy team.
Absolutely. So I've got Steph Diggs actually this week ranked at number 2 in my fantasy rankings. Of course, there are some buys and things like that, but I think this might be a Diggs game. If they end up having to throw the ball, he has the chance to be there. But I also do really like Emmanuel Sanders. That is, he's been playing unbelievable. You can't take anything away from his game right now.
Right.
Dawson Knox I have ranked as my number 10 tight end. And again, it's a guy that's kind of come out of nowhere that has emerged and is playing very well. He's like
they're using him properly.
Yeah, well, he's kind of like Dalton Schultz, right?
Yep.
And he's finally getting some usage.
Yep.
And he's a decent player, so he can do some things. He can get open, and in the red zone, who knows? You could get a touchdown from him.
Absolutely.
So play him out there. That's going to do it for the games this week. I'm just going to throw out to end the show here. I'm going to throw out the top 10 at every position that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So at quarterback, I have Mahomes at 1, Josh Allen at 2, Herbert at 3. You have Lamar Jackson at 4, going up against the Chargers of Herbert. I have Tom Brady, who obviously already played.
Who?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Then Kyler Murray at 6, going up against Cleveland, who gave up a ton of points to Justin Herbert last week. Jalen Hurts I had at number 7. Again, his rushing has saved him. His fantasy points are there. The garbage time is helping him out. Fantasy-wise, for the first 5 weeks of the game of the season, he was the only quarterback to be in the top 12 every single week.
Really?
Only one.
Nice.
Then you got Joe Burrow, who is my number 8 for the week, going up against Detroit. Dak Prescott at 9, going up against New England. And at number 10 is Matt Stafford, going up against the Giants. Moving over to the running backs, I had CMC up there, but he is not playing. So we're going to drop down to my number 2 is now my number 1, Dalvin Cook. Then you got Najee Harris at 2, Derrick Henry at 3, Austin Eckler at 4, Aaron Jones at 5, Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor. I had Nick Chubb up there, but obviously he's not playing, so I actually moved Kareem Hunt up into my top 10. James Robinson, followed by Antonio Gibson. Then look at this. Moving over to wide receiver. We have Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Terry McLaurin if he plays, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, who I think is going to have a big game today against Detroit, Justin Jefferson, just based on his potential. I know that Carolina defense is difficult. DJ Moore and Mike Evans, who played on Thursday night, who did not do much and did not warrant a top 10. Moving over to the tight ends, I have Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, TJ Hawkinson, who needs to actually show up today, and they need to get him the football again. Mark Andrews, who actually could swap in for Hawkinson there at 3, and Hawk could move down to 4. Then you've got Schultz, Gesicki, who's playing right now. Dallas Goedert, who I had him ranked there, but he got COVID, so he was out. I actually would have moved Zach Ertz up into the top 10, barely. Then Noah Fant.
Can he play?
Who?
Zach Ertz?
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
I was like, you can't play
No,
two games.
you can't play 2 games in the same week. So he did get traded to Arizona, but he cannot play today.
Right.
And then I got Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee, and Dawson Knox.
No.
Some good tight ends that I know people have trouble playing tight ends. There's not a lot to go around. So if you're having trouble filling your tight end spot, or if you're looking for a spend low tight end in DFS, I like Ricky Seals-Jones. Jared Cook's a possibility. I really like Hunter Henry today. And Dan Arnold is one that is playing in this game right now. I don't know what his stats are right now, but he's one that you might want to pick him up and stash him for a while. They traded for him for a reason. They really like him. They want to get him involved. They want to design plays for him. So he's one of those guys that you might want to pick up and just stash for a while, and maybe he can come on and fill that tight end spot for you.
I don't like any kicker ever.
And I don't go over kickers
Ever.
because I can't stand kickers.
I fucking hate kickers.
I wish they were not in any. I try to get them out of every single fantasy league I'm in, and I don't win that argument in many of them. But yeah, kickers are the worst.
Yes, they are. And we saw that last week. That kickers are the fucking worst.
Yeah, fuck kickers, fucking kickers.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. With that said, we're ending a little bit early today. Bye weeks kind of cut down on the show. So.
Yeah. I was once we got to that last game, I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah. Well, bye weeks cut down on the show, and with just 2 of us here, we obviously go through a little faster as well because it's just 2 of us that talk. But so I'm not unhappy about ending the show a little bit early.
All good.
Keep track of those injuries out there. I hope you win all your fantasy matchups. I hope you win some DFS money. And go to SOTDET.com to check on Danny Wise picks again. To check out some past shows, to see the podcast versions of our Tuesday shows, and check out our show picks, our blogs, the fantasy rankings, along with some starts and sits, and everything else that we have on there. So SOTDET.com. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesdays for our OG Sports on Tap Detroit show on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That is what started it out for us. And then again, next Sunday at 10:30 a.m., right here again for Sports on Tap Game Day. Again, go to SOTDET.com for all your Sports on Tap information. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your football.
Yep.
Peace out.
Down the field.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.